And we are live on the 16th episode of SEC Tavern Talk, which we are titling March is Here. And we are excited because the SEC basketball season is coming to a close, and we will start our tournament, and then we will start the real tournament after that. And we're looking forward to that. I don't know about you guys. Joining me today is Rob. How are you doing, Rob?
Good, man. Ready for some madness.
Oh yeah, always. And Sam, how you doing today?
We're good, man. How you?
Doing okay. We've had some technical difficulties, and we're getting started. Well, pretty much on time. We're planning on starting earlier, but so it's all good. We don't really have a whole much of an agenda. We're just going to talk about the past week's games. Um, we had. I really don't want to talk about the Razorbacks because I've been really disappointed, and I'm just sad. But I will say we did make some predictions last week, and I think no, we haven't been on in 2 weeks, have we?
Yeah, it's been
Anyway, yeah. It's been crazy going in the SEC. LSU has upset Kentucky and Tennessee, and they're looking to make some noise. And I've been harping on them all year. I honestly I think they are the most talented team in the SEC. They may not be the best team or the best coach team, but I think they're the most talented team. Like as far as just they got some dudes, man. Like they have got some dudes on that team. Um, but I mean, I would take Rick Barnes' team any day over LSU. Um, anyway, so we had Arkansas lost to Kentucky in a heartbreaker. We were up for most of the game, which makes me really sad. Alabama beat South Carolina.
They won a road game.
They won a road. They won a road game. They won a road game, and Arkansas almost won a road game at Rupp. So anyway, Mizzou got blown out by Mississippi State. Texas A&M lost to LSU. Most people this year have. A&M lost. A&M beat Arkansas in Bud Walton. I'm telling you guys, I'm sad. This has been 6 games in a row that we've dropped. Tennessee lost to LSU. I already said that. Georgia, man, Georgia barely lost to Ole Miss.
At least they didn't throw. At least they didn't throw like a bunny on the floor this time.
There was a stuffed bulldog.
That was
That's brutal, dude.
Yeah. No, this time we just lost it the normal way by sucking. I called that finish too. I said this is what's going to happen. They had 3 seconds on the dang shot clock. I knew it. We were going to give them. I didn't know if it was going to be 2 or 3, but I was like, we're going to let them score. We're going to come down, fire up some crazy, ridiculous crap shot, and we're going to lose the game. What happens? We give them an outlet pass to the 3-point line. Don't D up in their face. They drop a bomb. NBA range 3. We come down, dribble until we run out of time, and then throw up a 30-foot shot that's not even squared up to the basket. I mean, what I don't know. I don't really have much else to say about that game.
Hey man, y'all gave Auburn all they wanted though.
Well, that's the thing. We should have beaten them.
Yeah.
We outplayed them down the stretch like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But when you let them sit back and just hit threes in your face because they're shooting further out, but you give them the wiggle room. It's like, okay, but they've been hitting them, so get in their face and guard them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how you play defense.
Yeah, and that's Auburn lives and dies by the 3, man. You cannot give them anything on the outside. Sam, what do you think about Alabama's performance this week? They were 2-0 in the last week.
Yeah. Well, they beat Vanderbilt, which is probably one of the worst Vanderbilt teams they've had in like the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they did what Alabama does. They build a huge lead and they blow it. That's just what they do. That's just what they've been known. That's what they've come to do under Johnson. And they did it under Grant too. So it's just who they are. It's just who they are, really. When they beat Kentucky at home early in the year, same thing. Had a 18 to 20 point lead at one point in that game and won by one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just who they are, really. South Carolina. South Carolina's a very tough team. They're physically and mentally tough. I don't think they're very talented, but they are, I think, in the top half of the conference. They're 7-4, 7-3 in the conference. So for us to go in there and win, we don't win many places, just to be honest with you, that aren't in Tuscaloosa. So for us to win that game is a big win. Look, everybody has Alabama in the tournament. I don't see it right now, really. I think because we've got LSU at home Saturday. It's probably going to be a loss. We play Auburn at home. I think we can beat Auburn at home because Auburn's a different team when they're not playing at home for whatever reason. For whatever reason, Auburn's not Auburn. They don't play the same way. I think the Wiley kid's hurt again. Did Wiley play against Georgia?
I don't know, but it didn't matter.
Big kid. I think he's hurt
big
again.
Dude.
The big guy. I think he's hurt again.
Probably.
I can't remember who the other one is, who we had, but it's three games that are very difficult games to win. I can't remember who the other one is.
LSU's favored
Alabama?
by 1.5. So
yeah. Who you
got
say?
LSU. You got Arkansas the last game of the season.
That's a dub.
At Arkansas, yeah.
Oh, that's an L then. That's an L then.
I said LSU is favored by 1.5.
I think if they can win, I think if they win 2 out of the next 3, they are in. Period. Well, no matter what happens in the SEC tournament. However, if they lose to LSU like I think they will, and they lose to Auburn like I probably think they will, and they lose to Arkansas like they probably will on the road, they're going to have to go to at least the quarterfinals, I think, to make the tournament. All 3 of those games are quadrant 1 games. That's the new lingo they're using. The committee's using quadrant 1. Depends on how tough the opponent is, where you play the game, when you play the game, that kind of thing. All 3. So every game they have from here on out is a quadrant 1 opportunity. But
here's what I don't understand.
They played a brutal schedule. But
here's what I don't understand. They said Auburn, if they had lost to Georgia, would have been a quadrant 2 loss.
Yeah.
What? How?
Yeah.
Georgia's won. What are they? 1-14 and 15 in the conference. I mean, they did decently in the non-conference. But I mean, it's like they should be quadrant 3, honestly.
Sure.
Yeah,
I don't know how that is figured. I mean, the only thing I can think of, the reason why they're quadrant 2 is they're in a Power 5 conference. I mean,
and it was a road game. So
yeah, they're in a Power 5 conference, and they did pretty good in the non-conference. One of the few teams that actually won in the Big 12 SEC Challenge.
Beat Texas, right?
Beat Texas, yeah.
Which everybody, all of us love. So
yeah, exactly.
That's right.
It's always wonderful to beat Texas.
But Alabama, there's the roller coaster, dude. They're either going to be really, really good that night, or they're not going to be very good at all. And they just go to. They're so inconsistent on offense, and really defense too. But offensively, they'll go 5 minutes without a field goal. And then defensively, the reason they're giving up all these comebacks is defensively they can't stop anybody. And, in the Vanderbilt game, I think Vanderbilt scored like 8 trips in a row. They scored a basket. You know, you would think by sheer probability they'd miss one. Number one, but
Yeah.
number two, you think we could, hey, maybe get in the way and contest a shot, and maybe try to block them out every once in a while. You know, I don't know. It's very, very frustrating as a fan and as a basketball coach to see.
Yeah.
So I think Alabama is in the top tier in the conference as far as talent goes.
Yeah.
And Kyle Lewis is probably, he's not the best point guard in the conference, but he's one of the top 3 point guards in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got John Petty, who's one of the better shooters in the conference. They don't have a true post guy, which hurts. Dante Hall's, he's a garbage dude. He's a double machine, but he's a garbage guy. He's somebody they throw lobs to. He gets offensive rebounds. He's not very skilled. You know, that's the biggest deal is they don't have anybody that can stick in the post and play with his back to the basket and eat up space in the middle. You know, so it's very frustrating that we can't recruit at least a stretch four who can play in the post and step out. We can't even get that. There's a kid at Mountain Brook. His name is Trenton Watford, and he played the other day in the Final Four in the Alabama High School Final Four, and there watching him was Krzyzewski and Avery Johnson was there, and Penny Hardaway was there. The guy at LSU, Will Wade was there. The guy at LSU. He had like 7 Division I schools, and he'll end up going to either Kentucky or Duke or Kansas or something like that. And he's a guy that Alabama needs to keep.
Yeah. Speaking of heartbreaking and running into people that shoot the lights out, like I said earlier, we almost beat Kentucky at Rupp Arena, but we ran into a guy named Hero.
Sir's good, dude.
Who shot 90% for the game. 90. That's right. 9-0. That was his field goal percentage for the day. And just he could not miss, and it just it was driving me freaking crazy because
I don't know. Like I told you the other day, I don't know how he was a dang 4-star as a recruit. That dude is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Is he a true freshman?
Yeah. Yeah.
Most of them are at Kentucky.
He what?
Most of them are at Kentucky.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. But he came in as a 4-star, and I'm just, I'm thinking, okay, 4-star white kid, I mean, he'd probably be good shooter and, decent for the school, but man, he's torn it up, and especially here lately, he's just got that mentality, like he's gonna. You need a bucket, you need this or that, he's going to put you on his back kind of thing.
Yeah. He's a dude, man.
Which is what you need when you're competing at the top. You need a guy that's going to take over. I don't mean take over as like LeBron and the crappy Lakers who are just terrible right now. I mean take over and like still play as a team but just control the floor. And I mean he's done that, especially here lately.
Yeah.
But props to Arkansas. They played a great game that night. And what some would argue they should have won. I'm sure JB argues that. But
Kentucky's like the opposite of Auburn. Kentucky plays better away from Rupp than they do in Rupp.
Sometimes.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah,
I think it's harder
they
to
beat
win
the crap out of
Rupp.
Tennessee in Rupp.
Yeah, I think it's harder to win in Rupp, but some of the wins in Rupp are by small margins.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as what you were saying, Sam, about Alabama's problem, Arkansas has basically the opposite problem as Alabama in that, our inside presence is great. I mean, we've got the best big in the SEC. I mean, he's predicted to be top 20.
PJ at Kentucky, he's a dude, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
PJ, and then you got Grant Williams too.
which Gafford's good though.
Yeah, but Gafford just like he's just a stud. I'm dude
He
6'11",
is.
and
He is.
like and yeah, I mean he's predicted in the top 20.
Yeah.
He could change that if he would get the ball more. But I mean, he keeps getting double teamed. So
Intentionally,
yeah,
it's ball more.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think, and this is not me being a biased opinion. I just solely on the way that, based on the way they're playing right now,
Yeah,
I think PJ will get SEC Player of the Year.
he's got the most upside. I
Right.
think
He's
Grant
just
Williams' size limits him. As far
well,
I'm talking about
and
projecting what in the future.
right. Well, the difference with Grant Williams is he's got
It's bully basketball.
yeah. Well, and he's also got there's a balance of stats between
Yeah,
Tennessee's team because they're such a well-rounded team.
right.
yeah,
Whereas Kentucky is a bunch of freshmen and they rely on someone to. A lot of times it's one or two players that are kind of taking over the game, and so PJ Washington lately has been the guy to step up and um, really take over the game. Aside from Hero shooting 90% against Arkansas, but I mean, um, but PJ Washington has been doing it for the last month and a half or so,
Yeah,
just really hammering hard. So I think that's why I would give him the edge as far as the SEC Player of the Year.
yeah,
But that doesn't. I'm not necessarily saying he's the best, without a doubt, the best. Big man
yeah.
in the
Should player of the
league.
should player of the year should that be the best player on the best team or just the best player?
The best player.
So let's
Um,
say what
but I
okay
mean, there's a lot that goes into that, though.
Didn't
let's say
Yonte Maton? Didn't Yonte Maton win it a couple years ago?
let's say okay, Vandy's over
No.
in the conference. What if Vandy had a dude that was averaging 40? Should he be player of the year even though they're over?
Well, it depends on how he's averaging 40. If he's averaging 40 because he's taking 50 shots a game, uh,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like if he's like, it depends on how well rounded he
Well,
is.
and
Is he?
that's kind of like, I mean, using football as an example, I don't really like how the Heisman is solely stat based
Yeah.
because I feel like there's so many factors that go into it.
Oh yeah.
Not taking anything away from Kyler Murray,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, of course you're going to have more offensive stats when your whole game plan is centered around offense.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you're not really playing defense. You're just trying to get the ball back and play more offense.
Yeah.
So, of course, your stats are going to be higher than somebody that's a rounded team like Alabama. Transfer to the basketball, I think that is similar in the sense that, if you might play for, no, I'm going away from SEC Player of the Year for a minute just to talk about general awards. Say you're playing for Indiana State, like a
Yeah.
Larry Bird. Okay. You got to take into consideration who he's playing against. Now,
Right.
again, Larry Bird, amazing, all time, one of the greats. So that's a bad example, but you get where
Steph
I'm
Curry.
going.
Steph Curry at Davidson.
Curry Davidson.
Right, exactly.
He averaged
But
36 a game.
but
Yeah.
he's also a bad example because
Because he's a stud.
yeah,
He's a stud now though. But
Yeah.
when he was in college, it's a good example, I think.
Yeah, you didn't know how good he was going to be in the NBA because of
That's
the
like
competition he faced.
Yeah,
I
it's
guess
like Ben
I
Roethlisberger
get,
played at Miami of Ohio. You didn't know he's going to be a future NFL Hall of Famer.
yeah.
You know. So
So to give him awards for playing against,
yeah,
you got to. I think there's a lot to weigh there. I don't think
yeah,
it's a disqualifier, but
right.
I just don't think awards should be solely
Oh, no doubt,
stat
no
based
doubt.
alone. I don't think any of them should.
Yeah, but when you're talking about the best SEC player, they're all playing the same competition. So
Right, I understand that, but I'm saying even then, just who scores the most points shouldn't be,
yeah, no,
like
Well,
that. There's a lot of statistics that should go into it. There's a lot of factors. There's a lot of consideration that should go
yeah.
into choosing that.
it's a
But
popularity contest too, though.
Well, the reason people use statistics because it's something analytic that you can give a value to.
Right. And
You
I'm
know,
not saying you shouldn't use statistics. I'm just
right,
saying that there should be more
right.
factors. I
That
think.
way, it's not totally subjective. I think
Right.
it's the reason. But I think the best awards, have a good balance of subjective and analytic.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm saying. That's the whole
Right.
point is I think there should be a balance.
So we don't really have an agenda tonight. So I just have a couple of just off top of my head questions. Number one,
Yeah.
who wins the SEC? You got LSU. Who's the one seed? Who's the one seed?
Okay. Are we talking?
Who wins the regular season? Not
Okay.
the, not the tournament, the regular
Right.
season. You got LSU,
Okay.
you got Tennessee, you got Kentucky. They're all tied for first. Who wins the conference?
I think Tennessee beats Kentucky tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not the question. I agree with that. I
I'm
actually
just
agree
saying.
with that.
I'm just saying, but that'll put them. Well, actually, then they'll be tied with LSU, wouldn't they?
I
Right.
think they're
So I
not.
think
They're not.
LSU wins it because LSU has
Yeah.
beaten Tennessee.
Yeah.
So the tiebreaker goes to them.
Tiebreaker goes to
So
LSU.
I would say LSU comes out because here's the although
Oh
there is
gosh,
one scenario. What?
I was just laughing at LSU's schedule coming up.
Well, you're laughing at it, but according to ESPN, Florida is supposed to beat LSU, which they already beat them once.
FBI
I
or
mean,
whatever.
Alabama can beat LSU at home. There's no question in my
Yeah,
mind that could happen. But
they could. So I
I
mean, you never know. But
yeah, but yeah, the last two games,
they end
I
with Vanderbilt, don't they?
yeah, they end with Vanderbilt.
And they got
So
a W coming tomorrow. Or no, Florida does. Sorry, Florida's playing Georgia.
Avery Johnson's thanking God for Vanderbilt. Otherwise, he'd probably be fired right now. That's two dubs. That's two dubs out for Alabama.
uh
It's two dubs.
yeah, I think
That's dub for anybody that plays them. They're the only team worse than Georgia.
yeah,
Georgia beat them by like 18.
I think I don't know, man. I think LSU might drop that Bama game, to be honest.
Yeah.
And which will put Tennessee in the lead if they beat Kentucky. So,
Well, the reason it's important is because whoever the one seed is avoids the 2 and the 3 into the finals,
mhm.
and because they'll match up with Florida, right? Isn't Florida the 4 right now?
Florida,
Who's,
no.
who's the
No,
4?
it's Mississippi State and Ole Miss
Okay,
are
yeah,
tied.
okay.
And,
So
well,
State
no, Florida is tied with Ole Miss, Mississippi State. It's a four-way tie. South Carolina, Ole
Really?
Miss.
for 4th.
Yeah, four-way tie for fourth, but it'll be some kind of tiebreaker there because I think.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, let's just say that LSU is the one. Well, they avoid Kentucky and they avoid Tennessee until Sunday.
Yeah, yeah.
And LSU's gonna be favored in every game except for those two games. 'Cause I think,
Mhm.
but it's my opinion from a coach's perspective. I think that LSU is the weakest of the three. That's just my opinion. As far as if they played on a neutral floor, I think Tennessee and Kentucky both beat LSU on a neutral floor. I know LSU went to
Well,
Kentucky and won. I get that.
Well, what I said earlier about LSU
Yeah,
being the
yeah,
most talented team, I think what you're saying though, I mean
yeah,
LSU when it comes to coaching, no,
yeah,
it's not even close, man. Like
yeah,
Rick Barnes and Cal,
yeah,
yeah. So I think as far as when the game's on the line like that in tournament
yeah.
time, yeah, I'm gonna go with the seasoned coach who knows what the heck he's doing with the
Right.
talent that he has. So I don't think LSU is going to win the tournament.
Yeah.
But
I think
yeah.
I think LSU needs the one seed worse than Tennessee and Kentucky do. Does that make
yeah,
sense? Because I
yes,
think if LSU is not the one, they will not be playing on Sunday. I don't think.
yeah, that's legit, and I could see Tennessee and Kentucky, which Kentucky always plays lights out. So I mean they could make it all the way, but sometimes they might trip up on their
Yeah.
way up there and lose to
Oh yeah.
somebody. And so
Very possible.
LSU being a one seed would
Yeah.
really help them because they might not even have to play Tennessee or Kentucky.
Yeah.
So
I'm saying chalk. If one plays 4, two plays 3, I'm saying that LSU needs to be the one to get to Sunday. Is what I'm saying.
yeah, yeah.
So who's going to be the one seed? either Kentucky or Tennessee are going to be a 1 seed in the NCAA. Which one is it going to be? Who's going to be a 1 seed?
Well,
it'd
I'd
be
say at this point, Tennessee, because I don't see Kentucky coming out on top in the conference. So,
and they have a
I think-
better overall record too. So
right. The second question I was thinking about is just off the top of my head is, everybody's talking about Zion Williamson and should he sit or should he play? What do y'all think? Should he sit or should he play? It's a good question.
it is a good question.
I mean, okay, what is his goal here though? It's his goal to win a championship or go to the NBA and be a huge star. I mean, I think we all know what his goal is.
Oh yeah, get me paid, dude.
Yeah,
get me paid.
So, what would I do if it were me? There's no way. I don't care at what level I'm playing. There's no way you're going to keep me off that court unless I have something broken. That's just me.
Yeah.
I'm playing unless I'm hobbling. I'm playing. Like I'm going to play if it's possible. But I don't think as his goal, because I mean my ideas of things are different. I just want to play. But as someone who they keep saying is the next LeBron James and all that jazz, whatever. The big hype around him, he's going to do well in the league, and I think, for what his eventual goal is, I say he should sit and not play. I mean, don't risk your chance of playing in the big leagues because you want to play now.
Right. JB, what do you think?
It's hard to say, man. Like I'm with you. Like I'm going to play regardless. I don't think anybody should sit out like during the season when your team is trying to compete. Like, and it's only. Okay, as far as should goes, no, I don't think he should. But if he ultimately decides that, as a business decision that he's going to do that, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to make a big stink out of it. But yeah, I think he should. Like, I'm going to throw this out there because this is a Christian podcast. Morally, I would not want to let my team down. This school who took a chance on me and gave me a scholarship that I'm not going to end up fulfilling, but I'm here playing, or I'm getting a fourth of an education for free, and I'm playing basketball on one of the grandest stages at Duke, the Basketball Palace. And they've catered to me and given me all this stuff, and I've got a team that depends on me. I'm the best player on the court, and the team needs me. Morally, I wouldn't. It's just not right to me, to let your team down, to let your coach down, to let your school down. So if we're gonna say our opinion, yeah, I think he should definitely play. But
yeah,
Sam, what are your thoughts?
I mean, okay, number one, I'm a basketball coach, so so that's where I'm coming from on this. Number one, so let's flash back in time to August. Was he the number one pick in August? Was he the number one overall pick in August in the NBA draft?
Everybody was talking about him like he was going to be.
It was his teammate that was the number one overall pick. Okay, so Duke has elevated him to the number one pick. To me, he owes it to Duke to play. That's just me. And people are gonna say well, he doesn't owe Duke anything, and they're making money off his likeness, and he's not getting it. And that's bullcrap. Okay, number one, I'm not even gonna go there on amateurism and all that stuff. But To me, if at some point he wants to sit out, he should have never gone to Duke. Does that make sense? If
I
if if,
agree.
Yeah,
if he
go somewhere that's not going to compete for a national championship, like what Marquez Fultz
yeah
did. Like,
yeah. Now
Or
I
go
think
walk on and don't take a scholarship.
yeah, I think the dude wants to play. Go play in Europe. Just go play basketball in Europe. There's no rules against you. Go. You don't have to play basketball in college. Go play in Europe. Go play.
yeah,
Whatever. Um, go play somewhere else. You don't. If the at what point in our society did making money become the overall goal in life? And that's basically what they've turned this conversation into. Oh, it's all about the money. He's going to forfeit all this money if he gets hurt. And yeah, he's going to forfeit all this money if he gets hurt. But he can get hit by a car walking down the street and get hurt.
hmm
He can
yeah,
get hurt.
Mhm.
He can get hurt. I had a high school coach who told me he would tell people. He said you can get hurt riding a bike. So
yeah.
so I mean, obviously it's a risk for him, but Duke has elevated him to this from being in the conversation like you talked about as being the number one overall pick to being the consensus number one overall pick. Duke
hmm
has elevated him to that status. So to me, he owes it to Duke. And number two, if he wanted to shut it down, then to me that brings into question his competitive character. And
Ooh,
now I don't think for him he wants to shut it down. I think he
hmm
enjoys being at Duke, and
hmm
I think he enjoys the spotlight. But to me, okay, if I'm a team in the NBA, not the owner, I'm talking about the coach or the GM. I'm not sure if I want him on my team if he shuts it down, because what kind of a competitor is he? Does that make
that's
sense?
true. That's
So,
true.
so those are just my thoughts on the whole deal.
Yeah, we had the same conversation during bowl season about whether players should sit out and whatnot. It's a good.
Let's
It's
yeah.
huh?
What if let's just go forward into football season. What if Tua, who everybody thinks is going to be one of the top quarterbacks in the draft, let's say he tweaks his ankle again around mid season? Should he shut it down for the NFL draft? It's the same conversation.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah. In
same
Well,
every
conversation.
sport.
it's all the same, and I think the biggest thing is like you're coming from a coach perspective, and I
Oh
think
yeah, no
as
doubt,
a
no
as a
doubt.
coach, I'm not a
Yeah,
coach, but I think as a coach, the
yeah,
first thing is you think like, okay, am I putting this player, encouraging this player to play like based on the severity of his injury, obviously. Like
right,
maybe he could go, but the re-injury risk is
right,
high, and it might not necessarily about ending his career, but you don't want to see him get like
right.
legitimately hurt. You have to
Mhm.
think
Yeah, I
about
don't
those
think.
things, but
Yeah, yeah,
I don't think that's the issue here, and
right,
I think that's so barring something that's more the severity is more. I don't think I think guys can suck it up and play. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I
I
played
don't
an
think.
entire soccer season with a strained back and a pulled groin. So,
Right.
every time I planned to kick the ball, felt like I was hurting like an 85-year-old man. So, you
I
know,
don't think if he could hurt it. I don't think Coach K's gonna put him out there if he thinks he can hurt it.
right.
I just don't think Coach K or Duke they let.
Oh.
And we lost him.
There he is. We lost you.
You got sorry I froze out, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You
When
said you
Kyrie
got
Irving, yeah, when Kyrie Irving got hurt, they let him shut it down, but he had to have surgery to end it, a season-ending surgery.
uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
they're
Kyrie
not. I don't.
Irving, that flat earther.
Yeah, yeah, flat Earth. I don't think that they're gonna put Zion out there if they think he can hurt it.
Yeah,
Unless he's 100% cleared,
Right.
they're not gonna stick him out there.
Right.
that's fair. Yeah. Here's another question since we have no script. Uh, what
Wait,
are y'all's?
didn't
Huh?
Sam have one more?
Oh, that was it. That was
Oh,
it.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What are y'all's thoughts on the one and done rule? How would you tweak it if at all? Or what do you think?
So I feel like we hit on this 2 or 3 weeks ago when we last did it. and we all were kind of in agreement. I feel like that, either don't force them at all or make them commit for 3 to 4 years, so that if I don't think kids should be forced to go to college. I think that's ridiculous because
The baseball rule.
The baseball
yeah,
rule.
right, and that's what I'm
Either
saying.
zero or 3 years.
Right, and
So,
I think you were the one that
yeah.
mentioned that, and I'm all for that because I think, I I've struggled with going to college. I don't know that I'm going to continue, but it's like, and part of me didn't want to go to begin with. That's you once you graduate high school, you need to make that decision on your own whether you want to go to college or not.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to play, you need to commit to you're getting your college paid for and whatever else on a full ride scholarship. You need to they're making a commitment to you, make a commitment to the school. Fulfill that. So I think the one and done is kind of a joke. But I don't know. The downside is I think there were some players that were going kind of jumping, trying to go to the NBA, and they weren't making it. So
Yeah.
but I mean that's their own choice. So
Yeah. That's
once
their life,
you
man.
once you go for it, you can't come back to play college ball. So you kind of screwed your life up. But then
Yeah.
again, that's your own choice.
Uh-huh.
So then what do? You either play in the G League for years and try to see if you can get called up, or you go overseas and play.
Mm-hmm. Worked out for Beverly. He went in the G League for a while and came back up, and
Patrick Beverly.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it works sometimes, but it's tough. I think having that shot of like going to the G League is kind of like really, I ended up here, It used to
Yeah.
be the D League for developmental. Now, then Gatorade sponsored it, so, or bought it, whatever, so they
Nice.
called it the G League, but
Okay.
whatever.
Dude, I totally forgot that we had this conversation a few weeks ago. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I think the common misconception is the one and done rule is not a college rule. That's not the NCAA's rule.
Mm-mm.
That's in the NBA collective bargaining agreement.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's bashing the NCAA for the one and done. It's not the NCAA's fault.
Mm-hmm.
It's not their fault. It's the NBA's fault. And the NBA created that rule because they were drafting kids out of high school and they were busts. And so it was costing the NBA millions of dollars in salary that they could have been spending on kids out of college. And so they made this rule to protect the teams. And that's what everybody forgets. Now Zion Williams, but kids like Zion Williamson and LeBron James and who else? Tracy McGrady didn't play. He didn't play college, did he?
Kobe Bryant didn't.
Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett. There's
Yeah.
one kid every 4 or 5 years that can do that.
Yeah.
It's not like we're talking about. It's not like we're talking about 10 kids a year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
we had one that was committed to Georgia, and then he decided this was several years back before the one and done thing, and then they like he just did it right before they made the rule basically, and I can't remember anyway. He's been decent in the NBA, but never really I feel like if he had to come to Georgia and kind of played in college for a little bit, might have gotten a leg up.
Yeah.
Was it Williams? I think guard, but anyway, yeah. I think though that college should develop a longer rule if you're gonna come to college. So
yeah. Who's to say that the NCAA can't come back and say, you know what, you have that one and done rule, but we're going to make kids play for 3 years if they come here. So they could step in if they wanted to and make their sport better, because the sport would be better if if people were committing for 3 years versus one.
I just don't know how the NCAA could keep a kid there. You know what I'm saying? Legally, how can you keep a kid, in college? If you know what I'm saying?
They do it in baseball though.
Yeah, but that's again I think that's a major league rule. That's not a.
It may be. Yeah.
I think that's not an NCAA. It's a major league rule. I think.
Yeah, I guess because you can't force someone to go to school.
Yeah.
But
that's like saying if you have a kid that's in law school and gets a job offer, you can't go make money. That's kind of anti-American, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Wow.
So,
And the NBA is never going to go to that because they want to get kids like, some of these like big stars that play a year. They want to get them after they've been coached for a year.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So here's another big question that is burning on my heart. So do y'all think that when the boosters and the administration, the athletic director, the whole staff there in that town called Austin, Texas, do you think they look at how good Tennessee is doing under Rick Barnes, and they want to shoot themselves for firing him?
I think they know they overreacted. Really.
Yeah.
I mean, the Duke can. I told you earlier this year on this show that the Duke can coach, man. The dude's a good coach. The guy at Georgia can coach. You should give Georgia 3 years, and they'll be right there. I'm telling you.
Well, yeah, he's already making quick work of recruiting. So,
and listen, even more in basketball than it is football. It's about dudes, man. It's not about how good it's not about what you do on offense or what kind of defense you play, whether you press or don't press or play zone or don't play zone. It's about what kind of dudes you got. Rick Barnes
Jimmy's and the Joes.
Yeah, Rick Barnes was a lot better coach when he had Kevin Durant on his team.
Yeah. For 1 year though.
Yeah, but I mean, who wouldn't have looked good with Kevin Durant on their team?
Yeah, look at Calipari. It's kind of it's in the same ballpark as the conversation we just had, the one and done conversation.
Yeah,
these coaches like Coach K and Coach Calipari, they're going to recruit the one and done guys, and there's a section of basketball fans that think okay, we shouldn't recruit these guys at all. Well, in Calipari's argument, so you want me to go recruit bad players? That's pretty much what you're telling me. You don't want me to go get a 5-star. I can have a 5-star for one. I can have a Kevin Durant for 1 year, or I can have John Doe, 6th-year senior for 6 years. I'll take Kevin Durant for 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's like no one ever leaves Georgia early.
It's like telling Nick Saban, don't go get that 5-star because in 3 years he's going to the NFL. I mean, it's not going to happen.
Or 2 years, depending on his age. That's what a lot of people don't realize. So many people think that the rule is 3 years. It's not. It's that you have to be 21 before the draft.
Yeah. And the rule, I do like the way the baseball rule is worded. The baseball rule says 3 years removed from your graduating class.
Yeah,
is what the baseball rule reads. So.
Well, cool. Y'all want to make some predictions for the coming week?
Yeah.
Alabama loses.
or the coming weekend, at least the Saturday games.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Starting in the morning I'm getting pop-ups. At 11 a.m., we have LSU travels to Tuscaloosa at Coleman Stadium. Is that what it's called? Coleman Coliseum. That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I went there last year.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. Whoopig. Looks like Alabama is a 1.5-point underdog at home. What do y'all think about this game? We'll start with the Alabama fan.
I think LSU covers. I think it's close. I think it's within. I'll say within 10. It's single digits. But LSU's gonna win the game. Especially, they beat Tennessee without their best player. That's
They
one thing.
did.
That's one thing we haven't talked about. They played without their best player and beat Tennessee.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah,
think
that was phenomenal.
I think LSU covers.
Okay. Dog.
I think I'm gonna pick LSU on that one.
Yeah.
Oh man. No, I'm gonna pick Alabama. What the heck, man? This is
You're such a homer.
Okay.
The context.
The first time
is everything.
The first time anybody has ever accused me of being a homer for Alabama.
It's in football.
For the record, just so everybody knows, I'm an Arkansas fan, but I do live in Alabama.
Yeah.
So
But I
Alabama.
love that you use that word because context is everything. Homer can mean different things.
That's true. That's true. Context is everything. Alabama's probably I guess Alabama's the second closest school to me after Nashville.
Yeah, I think that if Bama does beat LSU at home, they're a lock. They're in. They're in. I think. If they beat LSU at home, huge if.
Yeah. I think LSU has played up against really good teams like Tennessee and Kentucky this year, and they've lost a couple of games that they probably shouldn't have, like to Arkansas, for instance, at home.
That is one thing that I will say about Alabama though is Alabama tends to play up when they play a team that's really really good. They beat Kentucky, by 1. They went to Tennessee and got beat by 3.
Mm-hmm.
They went to LSU. I think LSU beat them 7 or 8. So their athleticism tends to allow them to be in games like that. They just don't win a whole lot of them.
Yeah. So I think the home crowd's going to help them tomorrow, and so we'll see. Sam's
all 11 students.
And Sam's like, I hope you're right, Biz. Ole Miss travels to Arkansas, and Arkansas is actually a 1-point favorite. It is a home game. So what do y'all think about that, Sam?
I'm gonna go Rebels. Okay. I want to see Kermit Davis throw his jacket again. Did you see that? Did y'all see it? The technical foul he got against Tennessee.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was great. Dude. I would love to see. Okay, first of all, who was it? Admiral Schofield threw a charge with like 1.5 to go in the game. Into the game. So Kermit Davis took his jacket off and just threw it. They teed him up. So I'm gonna go Ole Miss.
Okay. Snoop Dogg, what you got?
I'm gonna go with Ole Miss too, but I would really my heart wants to go with Arkansas because I'm extremely tired of freaking Tyree. But because of him, they'll probably win. I just want somebody to D him up. I get tired of hearing his name. Tyree. They never shut up about him either. Announcers were like obsessed with him. And then, of course, Georgia's got a guy named Tyree Crump. They've got a guy last name Tyree. We got a guy first name Tyree.
Mm-hmm.
But Ole Miss, they've been playing well lately. So just by gut pick, I'm going to pick Ole Miss.
Okay. All right.
Although I'm rooting for you.
I appreciate it. I know you're going to call me a homer, but Arkansas has lost 6 in a row. They've got a coach that has been there. This is his 8th year, and he's been to the NCAA tournament 3 times in 8 years, or 3 times in 7 years. This year, if he doesn't go, it'll be 3 times in 8 years. He typically has a run at the end of the year. This year, he has not. He's lost 6 in a row, but he's got 9 guys that love him, that want him to stay. And we saw that earlier this week when Arkansas played Kentucky and just nearly beat them. And they just ran into ridiculous freshmen that just shot the lights out against them. And they came back on them. And yeah, I think they're playing for Coach Anderson's job, to be honest. I don't think he's going to be fired because he's got a super young team. And I think they're probably going to give him another year, like just to see what he can do. And I think they'll probably say, if you don't make it to the Sweet 16 this year, next year with these same guys, then he's probably going to be gone. But I think because they had like either the number 2 or number 3 youngest team in college basketball, which is ridiculous. So I don't think he's going to be fired, but the kids probably think he's going to be fired. So I think they're playing for Anderson's job, and I think the game's at home. I think Arkansas is going to win this one. So
you're Homer.
Whatever. I mean, how often has Anderson ever lost 7 games in a row? He hasn't. The most has been like 4 up until this year. So anyway, what else we got? Okay, Kentucky travels to Tennessee, number 4 versus number 7. I keep wanting to call you Matthew. Sam.
Tennessee. Done. Okay. Tennessee. Tennessee owes Kentucky, and they got embarrassed at Rupp. Embarrassed, flat out embarrassed on national television on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And so I feel like Tennessee's got a bunch of old guys. They're old veteran guys. They've been, when I say old, I mean they've been around. They know how to win. And this game, I think as soon as they lost that game, they circled this game on our calendar. Said when they come to Knoxville, we're going to beat the crap out of them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Rob, what you got for me?
I'm gonna go with Tennessee. I think Sam's right. I think they're gonna get the revenge, even though it's gonna be it'll be painful to watch. But I think they're gonna do it. I don't think they're gonna get revenge in like the.
No, I agree.
I mean, in like the same effect that Kentucky beat Tennessee. I think it'll be a close game. But I do think Tennessee will win. I'm going to say, 4 to 5 points, probably at the most. Spread's 2.5, but I don't know.
I say Tennessee wins. I don't think they win by a lot, but I think they control the game pretty much the whole time. They may only win by 4 or 5 points, but I think they pretty much have control of the game the whole time because I like you said, like they're playing for revenge and it's at home, and they're tied. They've been the best team. I mean I think they've got I'm going to trust the experience of Tennessee to win this one. Anyway, you got South Carolina travels to Missouri. Missouri is actually a 3-point favorite. I guess because it's a home game, but I don't know. Sam, what do you think about that one?
I think Carolina wins. They're playing for their life. The best thing that Carolina has going for them is their SEC record, and their overall record is not good. Okay, they had a really bad non-conference, but at the end of the year, I think what's their record now in conference? 7-4.
No, they're one tied for 4th, so they're like 9-6.
Okay, so at the end of the year, let's say they win their last 3 games, and they go
17-14.
Oh, they're 14-14 overall.
Right.
Okay.
9-6 in conference.
Okay, 9-6, and they've got 3 conference games left, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so at the end of the year, if they're 3 games above 500, but they're sitting at the end of the year at what 12-6 in the conference, they're going to be in the conversation.
Yeah.
Because not only did they go above 500 in the SEC, but they were in the top quarter of the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it gets them in if they went out. I think there's still work to do, but that's a big plus on their resume because pretty much every game in the SEC is a quadrant one or a quadrant two game. Every single one of them. And
Yeah.
so if they win 12 games, that's 12 quadrant one or quadrant two wins.
Well, the thing is it's likely that they will win the last three, which kind of gives my pick because I'm going Carolina, but
Yeah.
for tomorrow. But they've got Missouri, then they got A&M and Georgia.
Yeah.
And so South Carolina's been owning Georgia the last few years, and nothing's going to change this last game of the year. But I think they'll beat A&M too, probably. So I think they could easily win. I shouldn't say easily, but I definitely think that they could win the remaining three.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the consensus here. I think South Carolina's got this one in the bag. Missouri's not that great. Didn't their best player go down earlier in the year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think South Carolina's got this. I like
Missouri's not that bad. They're just struggling.
They're
yeah,
not good.
they beat
Well, yeah,
Arkansas.
there's that.
But yeah, I like Frank Martin. I think he's a good,
I do too.
hard-nosed, fundamental coach, man. I like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
man. So
He's
anyway,
also his guys are going to D you up.
yeah, you ain't lying, man.
That's my favorite part about him.
For sure. Absolutely. Okay. Mississippi State travels to Auburn. Auburn's a 5-point favorite at home. What do you got, Sam?
Auburn by however many I want it to be. It's at Auburn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Auburn by whatever score they want to name it.
You're
They're
such
gonna
a
win.
homer.
Probably since I love Auburn so much.
At least you got a lot of Auburn friends. All right, Rob, what you got here?
I got Auburn at home. I mean, Mississippi State has had a pretty good year, but they've been up and down. So has Auburn, but I like Auburn at home.
There's no reason why Mississippi State should have been up and down this year, man. They've got a very talented team, very good coach. I don't know what the deal is going on there, but I don't know something about start, huh?
No. And Auburn's got the worst sad sack of a human as their coach, but
yeah, absolutely. I cannot stand Bruce Pearl at all, man.
I can't stand him more than freaking Gus Malzahn. Like he's worse than Gus.
Yeah,
he is just man, such a prick.
I guess now that Rick Pitino's gone, he probably is the worst sad sack in the NCAA.
He's the next. Rick Pitino's the next coach at Bama.
Oh snap!
I'm just kidding.
We'll see. Yeah, I've got Auburn winning that one, and it's not even going to be close. They're going to shoot the lights out at home.
It's like a buzzsaw, man. It really is like a buzzsaw. Kentucky was I think Kentucky was up like 18, weren't they at Auburn?
Yeah.
And Auburn won, or Kentucky won by 1, right?
Yeah, like they just. Yeah.
It's just like they flip a switch, and it's like going into a buzzsaw. It really is.
Vandy's playing in College Station at A&M. A&M's a 7-point favorite. What do you got, Sam?
Touchdown favorite. They cover.
Touchdown favorite. They cover.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rob?
I don't see how Vanderbilt wins a game this year in the SEC. They're so bad. I don't know how they're that bad.
They gonna fire him?
I don't know. They should fire him. I mean, literally, Georgia is that's the only win Georgia has in conference, and they beat them by 18. Georgia is struggling so mightily, and they're Crean's trying to get that offense going, and the guys are so used to Fox's offense, but I don't know. I haven't seen Vanderbilt this bad in a long time. I got A&M by more than 7.
Yeah, I'm scared that Vandy's going to get blown out and then come back home the next game and beat Arkansas. Um, I'm just being real, man. Stranger things have happened. The way Vandy played Tennessee and the way Vandy played us, like I mean, we had to fight. Tennessee had to fight
Well, to be
at
fair
home.
on the Tennessee game, I think didn't they play Vanderbilt right after Kentucky?
No, it was earlier in the year.
No. When they played them the last previous time, I believe they did, because they just played them like. Um, I'm pretty sure they
Oh,
played them the game right after that, and in their defense of that, like the deflated feeling after getting like your butts handed to you by Kentucky
Well, I'm
when
talking.
when when you're one of the top teams in the country and you're feeling good, and then you get, then you got to come back and play a team that's hard to get up for.
Well,
I think
I'm talking about earlier in the year when Vandy actually took them to overtime. It was like
in
they,
Nashville
it was in Nashville. They had just played out. Tennessee had just beaten Alabama,
by 3.
and then they play by 3, and then they play Vandy the next week, and Vandy was like in control of that game up until the very last minute, and they I think Tennessee scored like with 0 seconds left to put it into overtime. Tennessee ended up winning. But yeah, Vandy Vandy almost beat them though, man.
Yeah,
It was
there
crazy.
was they were down 4 with like 20
then
something
you
seconds to go, and then Vanderbilt had some kind of flagrant one situation that happened,
Yeah,
and so they made both free throws, got the ball, and then Grant Williams hit a shot like with a couple seconds left, and it went to overtime.
yeah.
mm,
So, but yeah, I think A&M's gonna win.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be. I think Vandy might cover though. To be honest,
Okay.
because A&M's not that good. It's a 7.5. It's a 7 point spread.
Touchdown.
So yeah, exactly.
But the best thing Bryce Drew's ever done is hit a shot against Ole Miss. That's the best thing he's ever done. He's gonna hit the shot in the NCAA tournament against Ole
Oh,
Miss.
oh, really?
That was have you ever seen that play?
Uh-uh.
I want to send it to you. It's called the
Okay.
play, or it's called the shot.
Okay.
see,
We have a play that we run at the end of games for that situation. We call it Valpo. That's what we call it.
that's
Nice.
cool. Well, so Joey Brackets picked that, like, this was weeks ago, that Georgia would finish with 2 SEC wins and Vanderbilt with 1. So I'm curious to see if Georgia can. I don't see it happening,
Get
but
another
if they can
win.
pull off one of the remaining games, and then Vanderbilt can just get an upset on someone, be kind of fun, kind of interesting to see if that actually happens. Because I mean, I'll also be interested to know who Joey Brackets was picking for each of them to win for their first and first for Vanderbilt, second for Georgia win,
Yeah.
because when it comes to bracketology, he's got it all down to science, which is just crazy. He's right about so many of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the last game we have, and the largest spread of the day. Um, Georgia is a 11.5 point underdog at Florida.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go to the Georgia fan first. What do you think, Rob?
I'm not even optimistic about it. It's Florida. I don't know where Florida came from all of a sudden to start playing well, because when they played TCU, I wanted to pull out my eyeballs. It was such a terrible game. Their offense couldn't do anything, and now they're tied for four-way for fourth or whatever.
4 for 4.
And yeah, and I don't know how they're doing like they are now, but and they've upset teams that they shouldn't have beaten. So I don't know. I don't see Georgia getting over that hurdle. I think
Sam?
they're about done.
Gators.
Yeah. Gators. Gators. Whoa, there we go.
Oh,
What's up? What's up?
What's up, John?
All right, all right, all right. Man, not much was going on.
Oh, man, we're about to wrap up.
Oh, okay. I hopped on just in time then.
You did. You did. Hey, why don't you pick this game? Who wins? Georgia is playing at Florida. Georgia's 11.5-point underdog.
I'm saying Florida.
Yeah.
Florida, yep.
how about South Carolina versus Missouri?
Of course, you know what I'm going to pick. That's going to be South Carolina.
That's what we all picked too. I just had to throw that one out there for you.
Is this the first time you've been on the show since you got the mustache?
Yes, it is.
Ah, yes.
Mustachio.
That's right. One and only.
Yep. I'm digging it, man. I'm digging it.
I appreciate it, man. I was a little nervous about it at first, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And yeah, I'm loving it.
Yeah. That's cool. Well, cool, man. I'm gonna pick Florida in that game as well. I just think I don't know, man, because Georgia played well against Auburn earlier this week. So I mean, it would not surprise me if Georgia won. But
They
yeah,
just
I
always
think,
find a way to lose it. I mean,
yeah.
even when they should win.
Mm-hmm. John, you got any thoughts? You've been watching the Gamecocks this year?
Off and on. It's just everything's just been a little hectic on my end. I haven't really had a chance to watch much of anything lately.
Yeah. They're actually in a 4-way tie for 4th place in the league.
Nice.
It's just kind of funny. Which it would give them a double bye in the tournament if they could pull it off. They're probably gonna have to win out though to get it.
Right.
So, but anyway, yeah. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns? We covered a lot. We missed you.
Yeah, I miss being on. Hopefully, I'm gonna be able. Hopefully, everything's gonna start calming down to where I can be back on regularly.
Yeah. Did you adopt, or are you fostering right now?
Fostering, but yeah, that's probably gonna be looking in the future. We're looking at probably about a year or so.
Okay, cool. But probably. So. Sorry, I brought that up on air. Sorry
no,
about that.
you good. You good. I mean, no worries about that at all.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know how public that was supposed to be.
Yeah, no, and see how that happened is we originally said we were gonna do, like newborn to 4. Well, then this one little girl that we found out about was 6. So it was like, okay, we'll take her. Well, then this young man was 12 and needed a place just temporary. Well, then he came and found out he actually needed longer, and we just fell in love with him, and so we wanted to keep him.
Yeah.
So, and we're doing everything we can for him. He's a great young man. Great, very respectful.
Yeah.
Just, he's got a lot of stuff going on, and he's great. Great kid.
That's cool. That's good. Yeah. Good to hear. Glad you're doing that.
Appreciate it.
It's something that a lot of people do, and it would just be really hard for me to know that you could lose them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, we've covered a lot. I've enjoyed it. It's been a good night to talk basketball, and we will we'll be back hopefully next week because that'll be right before the SEC tournament. So yeah, we might have to cover some stuff. But anyway, I enjoyed it. Appreciate everyone being on here. Just remember, brothers, to let your light shine before men so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven. And we'll see you in the tavern.